Hello guys, welcome to another video. So today we're going to look at US30 or the Dow Jones. So if you're new here and you haven't subscribed, please make sure that you watch until the end, just so that I can show you how to do a market breakdown and come up with setup. So let's get started. All right, so you know that we cannot just go to the time frame that we want to trade on and start making decisions there. We need to start with the bigger picture and just have a look of where the market could be headed in the next coming months or so. So this is the monthly chart, and if you want to decide where the market is going here, you can just see that this is the highest point, the highest price to have ever reached. From there, the price went all the way down, breaking areas of support, breaking the bullish trend line. That's where the bullish trend ended, and the bears were in control. But now something very interesting happened, is that we were having a very bearish trend line. Let me try and edit and see if it was broken or not, because if it was broken, then it would mean something else. Because remember, it's very important for you to say that, to be able to tell where the market is going, because when you do know where the market is going, it will be easier for you to search for trades. So because we are saying that the bulls only managed to push until there, and then the bears took over, breaking their resistance, their support, breaking their bullish trend line, that's when the bears became in control. They were pushing to the downside, and the lowest point they could reach was here, having this as their nearest area of resistance, and this is their bearish trend line, and both of them were removed, meaning the bulls came back and took back their power. But it's going to be a very challenge for them to go back there, but it's at least it's a step in the right direction, where they managed to break the bears bearish trend line and also the resistance. So that's why you need to say that this area here, it's a very sensitive one on monthly, because of what? The bears were comfortable pushing to the downside, but after this guy here was formed, he's the one that changed everything. He's the one that pushed up, and he broke the bearish trend line, and he also broke the resistance, meaning he's very sensitive. Now that the price is coming back to it, it's very highly likely that the price would do something like this, go back up at least until there. That's something that might happen in the next coming weeks or so. For as long as this guy is not broken, the bulls still have a very strong chance to go up to at least there, or even up there, or even close the year with the all-time high. You'll never know. So, but for now, what we can just take from this is that we are at a very sensitive area that's most likely to reject the price. It can let the price in, but I don't think the price would move and create a new low. So that's what we're seeing on the monthly. So let's check the weekly and just see how is the structure this side. So for the weekly, we did have a trend line looking I think exactly the same, which is also broken, and we became bullish, and we have the area of support here. The area of support, the price came back and tested it, but when you tested it, it did reject and move up to at least there, right? But it failed to create a new high. So when you are a bull, when we are bullish, at least we expect you to just continue giving us high, low, high, low. The day you don't give us that, the day you do this, that's where we'll have to say, where is the bull strength here that was supposed to push at least until there? Why did they run out of steam so early? Because this is the sign that they are not as strong as they were. That's why when they failed to create a new high there, that's when the bulls showed that they don't have it in them anymore. And then the price came back. This zone was not fresh anymore, and now it is broken. Now we are going all the way back, possibly going all the way back to the one that is what started the whole movement to the upside, breaking the bearish trend line and breaking areas of resistance. Because remember, when you're going to the downside, we had this as area of resistance, we had this as area of resistance, and this guy is the one that pushed all the way up and made sure that those two areas of resistance are taken out. Even if you wanted to place maybe the bearish trend line there, or even if you had placed it there, it's still taken out. So for now, this is the nearest area of what? Of support on this time frame, and this is the nearest area of what? Of resistance. And remember, on the monthly, we have touched the monthly area of support. I think the monthly area of support starts somewhere there. On the monthly, we have touched it, but on weekly, it says that because for as long as the price is not taking this guy out, the monthly will still remain intact. So meaning there's also a possibility of us tapping in the weekly, going up to at least the weekly resistance, right? because of what? Even if we do that, it's not like we are really challenging the monthly. The monthly chart is still saying you are touching the support that can reject the price, but it can be rejected. It doesn't mean the price needs to be rejected exactly at the trend line or at the zone where it starts. It can be rejected here, it can be rejected there or there, for as long as the zone is not removed. So here on the weekly, we can say that the bears are trying to push down because they even took out what? The support, but I don't think they have it in them to create a new low, knowing very well that we are inside a very sensitive monthly area of support. So maybe if they are lucky enough, they can push down to this. This will be a very strong area where we can take those buyers targeting at least that. Because remember, even on the monthly, we had said that this has got a chance of what? Being rejected to at least there. So you see, it aligns with what we're seeing on the weekly, saying that if it does this, it will be doing, we'll be anticipating the same thing. So for now, we do have a bearish trend line that you can put maybe somewhere there and have this as your resistance on weekly and this as your support on weekly. So let's check daily and see what we got on daily. So this is the daily chart, and on the daily chart, the daily chart is also still suggesting that there is actually still more space to push to the downside. But how far can it go? Do the bulls have it in there maybe to close as a pin bar and try and push up to at least there? We will see about that. But looking at the general or the structure, the overall structure, we can see that there's actually more room to move to the downside because of what? This one was removed. You can let's just double check. Definitely removed. You can see there we moved lower than it, so that one was taken out. So it means now on this chart, the nearest support we got is somewhere around there, somewhere around here. That's our support, and this is our resistance, and this is our bearish trend line, and daily is bearish. So which means that's why we said even on weekly that there's a possibility of us dipping in before taking off. So even here you can see that there's a possibility of us just playing along, moving to the downside before we can take off. There's nothing as of now that says that the bulls are coming in, unless if they fight and try and close as a bullish pin bar. But it's going to be a question of whether they're going to break that or not. If they break above the range, they will still struggle to take out the trend line and the resistance. So they really things are not in their favor right now, the bulls, because of what? Even if they try and get a pullback, it's not going to go anywhere. It will just be a pullback. It will not, I don't think it will break the structure, or unless they get that backup from the monthly support and then it pushes beyond that. But because you're in the monthly does not mean when you're getting your buy trade you should expect something like that. If you took your trade on daily, you will take your trade and you need to be mindful of this resistance and the trend line, because of what? They can still cause the price to do what? Dip back into the zone, dip back before taking off. So to make sure that you're not a victim of such, the thing doesn't take away your pips. You just need to make sure that when the price gets to those opposing structures, you do something with your trades. Let's check the H4 and see if the structure looks any different. Okay, no, still the same. H4 is also bearish. You have got the bearish trend line here, and you have got the resistance. This is the resistance that the price currently, after creating the new low, this low here, the price moved up and is testing the same resistance we're talking about. It can still push it to the downside and continue with the downtrend. I'm sure you can see this is the resistance. Okay, let me just bring this and mark it, but I'm sure you can see what I'm talking about. This being the resistance, right? And the price went up and tested it, and the bearish trend line is also still very much holding. So that's what I'm saying. The bulls really, they are going to struggle to push the price back up. But if they try and fight this bears here, because these bears are saying that they want to continue pushing to the downside. But if the bulls don't allow that and maybe try and push up like that, they are going to break the bearish trend line and they're going to break the resistance. And when those two are taken out, they will open more space to push up, which means you can just wait maybe for a pullback before you can take off for a deeper pullback, because currently there's really nothing that you can, because remember on daily that deeper pullback will be maybe you going until this or this, you see, then they will align, because on H4 currently there's nothing that says you can buy unless if they open the space by taking out this resistance and taking out the bullish trend line. Because for now, if you try and buy, what are you saying about this bearish trend line, and what are you saying about this resistance? Are you saying that they are going to be taken out? And if so, then what makes you say that? Because you need to use the structure on that time frame for you to decide where the market could be headed next. But looking at this here, I really don't see anything that says the bull. So I would rather say to play it safe, if you want to take a buy, they need to go outside. Then I can take a pullback, and then we'll be targeting that daily bearish trend line and daily resistance, which will most likely be around the same thing that we're seeing here, which is what? The H4 resistance. Remember, if those ones are removed, the next resistance will be there on H4, meaning that if this is taken out and this is taken out, you'll be targeting at least this, and this very same resistance could be around the daily bearish trend line, because the daily bearish trend line will pass here somewhere there. So you see, it's the possibility that when the price does this, you will probably touch that H4 resistance, which is around the daily trend line. That's where the price will still struggle to pass. It can still push it down to the downside, which is why I'm saying you need to make sure that when the price gets to the opposing structure, don't anticipate that they are going to be removed. Yes, you can be right in saying that, but just trade until they are touched, take your profit, and then move to the side. If they are taken out, you start searching for another opportunity and then join again. Because if you're holding and say they're going to be removed, then you'll be surprised to see something like this. And imagine after seeing all the pips moving up, now the market comes back and take them away. You see? So that's why you need to make sure that when there's this strong opposing structure that you have hit, you need to make sure that you get out. You've got no business there to continue taking those trades. So let's check what we have on H1. On H1, this is very, this is where it might mislead you. Let's say you are someone that trades H1, right? You will say that, yes, I was in a downtrend just like any other time frame, and now I have got this, which was removed, and I've got this resistance, which was also removed. But it being removed now, it will mean that it allows you to buy. But keep in mind where you are coming from. This is H4 resistance that is pushing down. You are trying to maybe get a pullback into this support on H1 and trying to push up, while the price is coming from H4 resistance. You need to be careful there, because of what? You'll be fighting the bigger structure, unless if you wait for like confirmation. I don't know what you're gonna use there, but there's a lot of pressure currently pushing to the downside. You can see here, even we are forming what? Bearish engulfing. So you need to be careful there when you think of maybe taking a buy from around this. You need to be careful. Yes, I understand this guy pushed up, broke this, broke that. I understand that, but he did it on H1, and now he pushed the price into H4 structure that is now pushing down. So you need to be careful. So maybe let's do one more, the smallest ones, and just see how do they look this side. So this is our M15, sorry, and the M15 is currently sort of consolidating because it was moving to the downside. We could put a downtrend there, and this is the support that changed everything, and the area of resistance removed, area of resistance removed. The bulls took over. The bulls had their run, they had their bullish trend line, and they are having their area of support here. The trend line is taken out, the support is still holding. So is it a matter of saying, is it going to hold also, or are they going to allow the bears to just push them, bully them into what? This support here, which is a bit stronger, because you can see that it is the one that pushed all the way up, breaking this and also breaking that. So it's a bit stronger. The one above, the one that you are currently in, didn't do anything. It just pushed up until there, but didn't break anything. So that's why even now, because the thing doesn't allow you to take that buy there from where you are, since the structure is not bullish. So I would say that if the price comes to this zone here, because you know you'll be located inside the H1 support that we had said that this is where it started to change things. It is located inside the H1 that changed the structure here. That's why I said that if you're trying to take a trade on the H1, you need to be careful because you're coming from the H4. So that M15 is somewhere there. It's located inside this one. So maybe you get in the confirmations there. You can take your chances and hope that the price will go back to at least there. But that's where you need to be careful with those ones, because H4 is still very much bearish and it is realigning because it is touching the trend line and the resistance. It can still push like that. So that's why before you think of taking a buy, yes, you are allowed to take the buy, but here this is not a good one because of what? It didn't do anything and the structure now is bearish or consolidating just outside the trend line. So you need to be careful there. But if you look at this one, like I showed you, it just pushed up, took out this, took out that. So that's why I would pick this one over this one. And this one also will have more backup from the H1 support. So because of where we are coming from, the problem now is where we are coming from, being the H4 resistance and the H4 trend line. So for that, we need to make sure that when you think of taking a buy trade here, yes, we are allowed to do that, but we need confirmation. We need confirmation because those guys there at the top, they do want to push all the way to the downside, because even I think it was, I can't remember, weekly, yes, even the weekly, we had said that because this one has been removed, there's still some more space to go until there. So they are fighting to continue pushing to the downside, which is why I'm saying if you're thinking of taking the trade here, you're going to need to be careful. You can take it, but you need confirmation for that, and then you're good to go. All right, guys, that's it. I think I'll end it here. We'll just see how it goes, and then I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.